Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Let's go fishing and test out this new ugly stick with this copolymer line. I have a bad feeling it's gonna just completely come off the bail on the first cast. But you know what pisses me off, right? There's a beach over there and these assholes are right in my friggin' fishing zone. We're crying out loud, eh? You wonder why I hate people. Well, there's one reason. Ooh. Well, that was a pretty good first cast. I know how GX2s handle. Like I said, I got one at home for casting. I got the bullet on it. I just don't know how good this line is. It's supposed to be transparent line, like the fish can't see it or some shit. I don't know. Ever since I started using braid, I never wanted to go back. Holy frig, guys. Look at those waves. People are out here kayaking on this. Jesus. In case you're wondering, yeah, the shad flies are still here. This is pretty much pointless fishing right now. Should have put a heavier jig head on so it got to the bottom. Oh, that's going high. That went nowhere. So they're saying this copolymer line's supposed to be more abrasive, but guys, I can cut it with my teeth. So I don't think what they're saying is completely true, but I don't know, we'll see. I gotta be careful with this GX2 as well because they're notorious for just throwing the ends off, these two pieces. I also forgot to set the drag on the, if I would have set the hook on a fish, it would have just been like zink. That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. It's a windy freaking day out today. Why was it so not windy at my house? Oh, we got our first little knot set up here. There we go. Little wind knot. The other reason why I freaking hate monofilament line. Mind you, braid gets wind knots too, just not as often. Yeah, today would not have been a good day to bring the kayak to Lake Nipissing, that's for sure. See, when we were fishing with Bobby, he kept an eye on the wind because if like Lake Erie is just a bigger version of Lake Nipissing. This is Lake Nipissing, by the way. Lake Erie basically can go from flat glass to 3-foot waves in 15 minutes. So can this lake, and I've actually recorded it once where I got on site and it was beautiful. It was flat glass, it was like no wind, it was just calm day, and then all of a sudden, boom shakalaka, game over, we're done. Like the wind's just blowing and it was brutal. I think this is 10-pound line, and what makes this copolymer special is apparently it's thinner than 10-pound mono, but it has the invisibility factor of fluoro. But I guess if there's no fish in the immediate area, it doesn't freaking matter. So cool. We can try here for a bit, and if this sucks, we'll relocate somewhere else and try some different spots. Parking is jacked. The way I had to park is gonna be fun trying to get back out because I got a car parked angled right up against my truck, and then there's another car parked the opposite angle, so I'm kind of pinched in because people can't drive in this damn town. So not even angled parking lot. I think I might have caught the tree. I think the wind carried my lure into the tree. Oh no. And yes guys, I'm wearing a hat today. I don't need another sunburn on my skull. So far I'm liking the way this reel casts. It's really good. Rod, well, it's an ugly stick. Not really much you can say about that. The line so far hasn't twisted or frayed or anything, so that's pretty cool. See what happens when I get a snag, how far back I gotta pull it, because they say it's got some elasticity to it. I can barely cast out due to this wind. 17 kilometer an hour southwest winds. If I had access to the point right now, that place would be juice. Don't see a lot of boat traffic out there today. Frig sakes, it did it again. See, this is why I don't like mono, because this shit happens. I'll just prematurely close the bail so that it doesn't spit out a whole bunch of line, and maybe that might help. Now this Piscifun reel, man, it was cheap. It was only 40 bucks, and it feels like $100 a reel. It feels as good as my Dio, whatever the frig it's called. Okay, I gotta show you this. You see this crap on the end of my line? This is shad larva shell. That's what comes off of them before they hatch. That's when you know fishing is going to suck. I just heard a motorboat. Or a plane. Could be a plane. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of boat traffic. Normally, if you go over there by those islands on the boat and you go out, there's a drop off. And that drop off is like where you want to troll or jig for walleye. Now, I will be honest, the presentation I'm trying to send is pretty ridiculous. I got a 5-inch fluke on a friggin' 1/8 ounce jig. So let me come back down here, pull out some line here, get it off of this dang tree. Only I would catch a tree while I'm sitting on shore. There we go. I'm gonna take this thing off. Just reeked like garlic. I figured it'd bring a bass in, but apparently not. Save those things for the EWGs. I'm gonna put on a twister. Where the hell did my jig head go? Did I catch another tree? Yep, caught another tree pounder, boys. I noticed with these Mr. Twisters, if you put them on the hook and you put it so the curl is facing down, there's a less likelihood of accidentally catching. Oh, I went too far with the hook. Whoops. There's a less likelihood of accidentally catching the curly tail. A lot more likelihood of catching a fish, but well, you guys know how I do. I don't even call it fishing anymore. I call it casting. I told bloke I should quit fishing and take up knitting. He was like, why? And I'm like, because I suck. All right, I'm gonna tie on a heavier jig head. I didn't realize it was this windy down here when I tied this little 1/4 ounce on. So we're gonna go with either a Dollarama or a Skivens Customs jig head. This one. Tie on one of these. They're like really heavy. This is a pretty sweet box that came with that Daiwa kit. Still haven't caught a fish on that rod either. Don't know what that's gonna feel like. The rod itself feels like a straight up noodle, so I'm expecting great results. Shit, I had the line and then I dropped it. Get over here, you. So I thought about something. I need to put a stencil on the boat. So I was on Amazon about to order stencils until I saw the price and went, really? For cardboard cutout? I can make that myself. Hell, we did it back when we friggin' did the God Ate Us, this Dodge Stratus that we camo painted and put DL Auto Brokers on the side, and that's when it hit. I don't need a stencil. I got a bunch of masking tape left over from when I did the Firebird paint job. I can just mask off an area and use an X-Acto knife or something to cut out the letters and then just spray bomb it and then peel off the rest of the paint. There we go. If this doesn't send, then I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is a 3/8 ounce of a friggin' jig head. I should be able to pitch this out far regardless of the wind. But yeah, I can just put like 5, 6, 7 strips of masking tape over the hull where I want to paint on the new numbers. I found my rego. It was in my email, so I printed that off to PDF. I'll have to print it off at work because I don't have a printer. Whoa, easy there, bud. I don't have a printer at home anymore because that broke. But yeah, I can print that off at work. You don't need it on the boat, I don't think. I think all you need on the boat is your pleasure craft license. There is no real ownership for the boat. When they run the ON number, they'll see, oh yeah, this is Adam's boat, and then they'll grab my ID and go, yep, you're Adam, it's your boat, and then we're good. But I got to make sure to have my pleasure craft license on me, but I've been carrying that for the past 2 years, so not a big deal. Okay, there's a snag. Oh yeah, that's some springy line, and I freed it up. That's a fish. Oh, he spit it. I didn't even realize I had a fish. Oh my God, guys, son of a bitch. I thought I had a snag and then I had a fish. I almost got to touch a fish and get sight back in my left ear. But you saw the size of that fish, right? Just a little guppy, not much to him. It's probably my only chance of catching a fish today. For the love of Gibraltar. The only thing I'm not wearing right now is my new fishing jersey. I should have wore that. Man, this rod casts nice. I don't know, maybe this polycarbonate Jedi mind trick line is actually pretty good. Copolymer. Like, I'm not seeing, like when I got slack, I don't have what you normally get with mono. You get like that telephone coil, right? But this here isn't doing it. The one thing I noticed is I'm so used to fishing with braid, I would have felt that fish hit. It wouldn't have been such a shocker, but with this copolymer, I didn't even feel him hit it. See, this is why I don't like coming to public places. Kids in the background screaming their stupid faces off and parents not giving a shit. And it's like, frig sakes, man. I just want to come out and enjoy some fishing. Can you keep your semen demons under control? The wind is starting to calm down. People are starting to clear out. Maybe they're going home to eat. Maybe I'll be able to get my truck out of here flawlessly now without having to do the Austin Powers 51-point turn. Something hit. Oh, that's a snag. I might be retying. That's the snag that Sarah always hits. Probably around 50 bucks worth of lures down there. All right, let's test the springiness of this line, shall we? Actually, that's not too bad. See, with monofilament, I'd have to back up like 17 feet. With this, it snaps like braid. So is that a good thing? Probably not, but for me it is. All right, let's tie on something else. The abrasion resistance works well. I don't know, man. Maybe this copolymer is better than mono. Switch to copolymer today. Could try throwing the chatterbait, but don't know how well that I can set the hook with this stringy stuff. I'll throw one of these pink ones. See, these pink ones, that's where I got the idea on how to hook it. See how it goes through the back end and the curl is on the top? Before, I was hooking them so that the curl coincided with the hook, and you don't do that. No, man, if your Costco has that deal with the Daiwa rod and reel and lures and you're looking for a backup rod, get it. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. It's a great rod. I was using it the whole time on Monday when I was at Bloke's, and it was great. I haven't really used it much down in North Bay because this is the first time I've been fishing since the trip. And I almost landed one if I would have known it was there, but I got to get used to this weird line that I'm using. See, Bobby, this is all he uses is monofilament, mono and everything. He doesn't like fluoro because sunlight causes it to turn yellow. Well, that's what he said. I don't know if that's true, but I'll take his word for it. He's been fishing since he was in diapers, and I've been fishing since 2020, so he's obviously experimented with more tackle and lines than I have, and he doesn't like tying knots. I find that funny. So he uses quick connects, and I figured it would impede the action of his lures, but not the case. No, I used to tie on quick connects all the time, and then I was out fishing with somebody up here, my buddy Mitch, and he's like, why do you have a quick connect on your line? I said, I don't like tying knots. And he's like, learn. He's like, fish can see that. It's a problem. Well, Bobby showed me that was different when I was down south, because he caught more fish with his setup than both Bloke and I did. Only fish I caught was a tiny perch using that micro setup, which, surprise, surprise, had monofilament on it. See, now that I can make my own jig heads, I don't care about snapping off jig heads, because, like, honestly, the cost for me to make a jig head, after I realized the cost to make a jig head and what they charge for them in the stores, it kind of pisses me off. It's like maybe 10 cents a jig head. What happened? What happened? Something bad happened there. Did I just snag by screwing up my cast? Where is it? I pinched it between the rock. Guess I'm tying on again. I ain't getting that out. I literally got pushed between two rocks down there from the current. So yeah, I'm gonna tie on again, and we're gonna get the frig out of here, because this is ridiculous. Maybe we'll go check the river where there's less people sitting around and vegging. Oh yeah, I just tightened up the drag super tight. The mighty GX2, designed for fishing, but can be used for hauling children on an ice fishing sled. You guys seen that video by Outdoor Boys? I know he quit. He shut down his channel. But he had a video showing the power of the Ugly Stick GX2. He had his kids on an ice fishing sled, and he was pulling them across the driveway. He had like 200-pound braid or some shit on the reel, and he just the rod's bent right over, and the sled's coming along like nothing. Oh, I gotta remember to start bringing this thing around with me, this multi-tool. It's great for cleaning out eyes on jigs, cutting braid with the scissors, and taking hooks out of fish's face with the pliers, and multi-tools are fun. Not sure for what, but they're just fun. I can assume the river is gonna be jacked. We can go try the dock, see how that is. I don't know, it'd be nice to at least land one fish on this new setup. All right, we got a jig tied on here. Why am I always using jigs? Well, you go on North Bay Fishing Forum on Facebook, and you'll see 90% of the guys are using jigs. But they're also trailering them with worms, but you know. All right, I'm gonna pack up. We're gonna get out of here because this is too jammed. And let's see if we can get that truck out of the parking spot. Hopefully that idiot is gone and we have no problems. Oh, I missed the point. The point was good. I don't see that car there anymore, I don't think. Somebody to the other side of me though. Oh no, they're still there. They're still there, and there's somebody to the other side of me, and I think they're parked in tight too, so. Son of a bitch. All right. Luckily, there's nobody behind me, so I might be able to rig a way out. Is there somebody over here? Oh yeah, there's like a little Mazda. It's a shame that fish jumped off. I didn't even realize he was there, otherwise I would have set the hook better. I totally thought I had a snag. Like, look at this. I had to park extra over, take up more space. I was like, I'm gonna need a net for the boat, but I don't, because, oh, you guys can't see it. Either under the bed or somewhere over here. A while ago, Rex gave me some fishing stuff. What did I just slam that down on? Nothing, okay. Gave me some fishing stuff. One of them was an ice auger, and the other one was a fishing net, because he said he'll never use it. And then while I was fishing down south on Lake Erie, I got a text from Rex. He's on a boat on friggin' Nipissing, trolling for walleye. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna turn you guys off, and we'll pick it back up when we get out a new location. Hello, glorious dock in the middle of calendar. How are you today? Did they install ladders? See, I can launch my boat here too. Boat ramp right there, just back it in, then park my truck up there somewhere. Not on a day like today, but these guys got their boat docked right here. That's what we did when Mitch and I came out one night. It was super stormy. I wasn't bringing the GoPro because even though they're waterproof, mine in the current configuration is not. So I didn't want to risk it for a biscuit and break my camera. Just gonna throw some shots around and see if anything wants to eat. I just told Mom that my boat's working, that I figured my boat problem's out. She just texted me and said, that's good. Are you gonna put it in the lake? And I can't read the rest because it's on my watch. You know, that's something I could probably do, is get Dad on the boat. Oh, frig sakes. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. This time let's not catch the people on the dock and try and catch fish in the water. It's easier to do with a bait caster. There's usually something schooled up over here. I guess there's nothing here today. Not surprised. It's one nice thing about a spinning setup is you don't really have to whip it to get it out there. You just got to keep the motion fluid and not stop mid-cast, and it'll go. Got a peanut shell in the water. Like a whole bunch of shit in the water. Frig sakes, it did that thing where it slipped off my finger. Try this again. Man, I should bring Dad fishing on the boat. because he doesn't need a license. Once you turn 65, you can just fish. What's cute, dog? Oh, did I just get a, yep, friggin' wind knot. I might be like a duck with a boner right now and totally dragging weeds. I don't know, man, this line is definitely not sensitive as braid. Should have bought some worms. Should have went to Circle K and got some worms and a drink. I could use some water right about now. Got all the boats done over here. So you guys saw how rough it was at sunset, right? This is the same lake. This is just Calendar Bay. And Calendar Bay, because there's only so many inlets in, it doesn't pick up as much waves as, per se, the main lake. The main lake's also very, very, very freaking shallow. I have like a little bit of drag on my system, but I'm starting to think that these three guys down here don't catch anything. The fish aren't eating today. There's a bit of a queue for the boat dock right now, or the boat ramp. That's the reason why I don't want to launch here. I think Armstrong would be the best place. The guy from work mentioned a spot too that's good for fishing off of Trail Lake. Called it the Oaks Lodge Rest Area. Said he brings the kids there sometimes and they catch fish. Nothing to write home about, but a fish is a fish to me. I'm not looking for a PB today. I just want to feel what this rod feels like when something eats. Nothing. Just got here though. Anything out in the open water? Well, that's always good. Walleye are good eating. Yeah, last weekend we were on Lake Erie doing some deep water trolling. Pulled a 29-incher out. That was a cannon and it fought like hell. I loved it. Yeah, I seen his post on Facebook. Oh, I might have to talk to this guy and see about getting a guide. Jesus, that must have been a fight. Oh, standing on this dock is like being on a boat again. You don't think keeping it off the water are those black floating containers underneath it. Maybe we'll try this area for bass. It's probably super weedy though. Which means I'm gonna catch a vegan fish right now. Gagne. I'm gonna have to look that guy up and see what he charges for a charter. Maybe I can get some friends to go in on it. Wait, who would I get? Anybody on YouTube black fishing? Do a YouTube charter for muskie. Oh, I think I snagged. Nope, I just caught grass. That's the other thing with the copolymer line is my braid is all like, you know, braided. So it's like a serrated saw pretty much. If it comes near the weeds, it just chops it. But this stuff doesn't. Bait ends up coming back with a green hairdo like it's from Beetlejuice or some shit. You would think there'd be a fish underneath these docks, like a rocky or something. I wonder if I can skirt this underneath that bit of dock right there. Nope, I can bounce it off the wall though. I have no control with the spinning. Tons of control with a bait caster. None with a spinning setup. Try the underswing. No, that just puts it over there. Whatever. Well, got snagged on something. Well, we're on a dock, so loosen up, walk around, and hopefully free myself up, or not. All right, well, I don't know what the hell I caught there, but I caught something. I'm just glad this stuff isn't like monofilament where it's like you gotta break it off and it takes forever. Because one thing I'm good at is snagging my lures. Between catching trees and catching rocks, I have skills, boys. All right, set this backpack down. Figure out what we're gonna tie on next. I'm gonna go with a smaller jig. Maybe one of these white ones over here. Yeah, we'll go with one of these white ones and we'll put on a white grub. I guess theoretically I could tie on a crankbait. I printed off another cranky bastard. I just need to paint it, put some hardware on it, seal it, and then we can send it. I'll just sit that there. Hopefully nobody comes along and sits beside my rod and takes a hook in the arse, but if they do, well, literally it's on them. Because it'll be on them. Oh, I started re-watching an old TV show. I watched it before, and I remember it was great in the beginning, and then it just got dumb. And I literally had to use substances to finish it. That TV show, my friends, is called Lost. And that show was so hard to choke. I have too many soft plastics in here. They say you can never have too many soft plastics, but I feel like I have too many soft plastics. Where the hell are my Mr. Twisters? Those are the red and white ones. I thought I had a pack of white ones in here somewhere. I think I need to do like Bloke does. See, Bloke has all of his in his bag, but it's within a Ziploc container. So he just opens the Ziploc container, and are these different sizes? That's 3.8. Those are 3.3. You know what? I'm going to put a 3.3 on. Smaller profile swim bait. The ones I'm going to be printing are going to be 2.8 inches. Perfect for the squeakers I go after. Here comes a boat. The Tracker. That's a nice friggin' boat, man. One day, guys, let me get used to the Squeaker Seeker, and then I'll do like everybody else and go into debt and buy a big fishing boat. I obviously won't own it right away. It'll be the banks, but over time as I make payments, I'll slowly own a bit more of it. All right, let's get this nerd wet. Tons of boats down here now. There's literally nothing here. Chat with the guy and he's like, all they caught was a walleye out in the water. So you're on a boat and you only catch one walleye. I don't know. Maybe we'll go check out that Oaks Lodge conservation area or resting area and see if there's any better luck there. We did have one on, but I didn't realize it and it got off. So it is what it is, right? Caught every time you went fishing, they call it catching. But so far, I'm actually enjoying this copolymer line. Once I worked out the kinks, literally the kinks, it's not too bad. Way better than mono. Probably about the same price as monofilament too. Like I got a spool of 600 for like 12 bucks. That's Canadian, guys. I know in America it's probably like $6, but keep in mind our dollar sucks right now. Underground island construction, septic system, septic tank pumping. It's quite the fishing boat for all that. Quite the fishing boat for all that. Oh, I'm just anxious to get my boat off, ready to rock and send it out and go and play on the open water, go where I want. I'm the captain of my vessel. If I see areas that look juicy, I just go to them, start casting. The best part about Trail Lake, it's not pressured by friggin' stupid shad flies. That's the problem with Nipissing right now. But mind you, I talked about that time my buddy Mitch and I went fishing on this lake during a storm. It was a pretty bad storm too, but his big bass boat just soaked it. And he was getting ready for a bass tournament the following day. I don't know if the GoPro's picking it up. You see those two islands out there? It's two islands. Well, the one on the left, we were trolling in front of it, casting, and he hooks on to the mother of all pike, 46 inches long. I'll show the picture, right? Meow. And he had bass tackle on a bass rod, bait caster, braid with a fluoro leader. It took forever to get that fat Sally in the boat. I was on the net, getting ready to scoop it up as it got close because there's no way we're boat flipping a 46-inch friggin' pike. Man, it was a great day on the lake. Wet, but a great day on the lake. Anyway, now it's gonna be a great day in my truck because as per tradition, if you don't catch anything in the first 10 minutes, frig out of there and find somewhere else to fish. All right, guys, we're at this Elks Lodge rest area. I don't know where the parking is, so I parked inside of this dog pen. They have washrooms. They're probably clean, but it doesn't look very deep here. It's literally a beach where you come to swim. So, I don't know. Also, I went to the Circle K and got a couple monsters because that's what you do on a fishing extravaganza. If you don't believe me, just ask Bloke. Bet you I got him hooked on the Monster energy drinks now. Got a couple sea-doers over there. Gonna go out sea-doing. This is the lake that I'm going to launch my boat on. Speaking of boats, that guy's got an expensive one on the back of his truck. Holy shit. It's one of those Sea-Doo houseboats or deck boats or whatever. Anyway, I went to Circle K, bought some monster and got some worms. I figure we'll up the ante on catching fish by using live bait instead of fake plastics. I'm just going to put that fish away. Don't need to leave it out. Let it hang out with its friends. Yeah, Mom was asking me if I was going with anybody fishing next weekend. I said, I don't know. Weather permitting, I'll launch the boat. If it's shit weather, we can wait. We've waited for 2 years so far. We can wait another couple weeks. I'm in no rush, but I'm in a rush, you know what I mean? Anyway, we got a brig steaks. Hey, Adam, don't forget to bring a towel. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, guys. Whatever, I'll be right at the beach. I can just bend down and wash my hands in the water. All right. Maybe if I sail it out far enough, there'll be a fish out there that I can swerp on. But this feels really shallow to be fishing. I'm just going to use this bench to hold my shit. That sounds like a great idea. I got pliers on my belt anyway, so I shouldn't need the hook remover. I'm going to try and put one over by those weeds. That looks like a good spot for a fish to be camping. But yeah, where am I right now? Okay, so that's a private island. Straight across over there is Camp Island. And if you go through that little crevasse and around the corner, you're at my buddy's house. And that was a horrible cast. Let me try this again, unless I don't have any worm left. Yeah, I launched my worm into space. Cool, very cool. Good job, Adam. You're like the best of the best. So, they came here by Sea-Doo. Where the frick is the guy who owns that vehicle? Because I always end up throwing out my worms because I don't use them all. I'm just going to go ahead and do myself a solid and use a full worm. Hopefully this time I can cast it not like an idiot and get it to where I want and not throw the worm off the hook. That might work. I don't even know how deep it is out there. Could always re-rig this rod with a float. I don't know why buddy at work said this is a good fishing spot. Not gonna lie, guys, it's kind of kife. Unless he meant if you can send it over here. See how calm this is? Like I could totally be kayaking today on this. This is what I love about Trail Lake. It's so flippin' deep that it takes a lot of wind force for this lake to become really violent. And because it also sits at a higher elevation than Lake Nipissing, the wind doesn't affect it that much. Okay, maybe it doesn't look as attractive because there's a bunch of grass and shit on the worm. I think I just lost my worm. Oh no, it's still on there. I don't know what the heck flicked off. Something did. Because every once in a while I go to cast and I let go too soon, or the line slips off my finger, or I don't know. We might do put a bobber on it with the jig and just let it hang there. You know what? Screw it. Let's put a float on. I don't have one in this backpack, but I do have one in the truck. I have a slip and a clip. So let's just go to the truck and grab that out of the other bag, put that on this rod with that jig head, and we'll just let it dangle on top water, and if something eats it, then we'll find out. Something else I should have done today, instead of wasting my time down at Sunset, we should have went up the North Highway and hit that spot. There's a lake up there that Logan told me about called Sturgeon, and apparently it's that juice. C'est la jus localius. That's a little French for you guys. You like it? I don't think it's that deep out there, so we're just going to clip this on right here. Something I love about mono versus braid. With the braid, you got to wrap it around like 2-3 times when you put these floats on. With the mono, it's like you just clip it on and it's good. Something else I wanted out of my truck. So I don't know if that's enough coming off. I don't even know how deep it is out there. It's only a foot of a drop, but hopefully it's more than enough. The fact that the bobber's not standing up is not good. That means it's literally a foot deep out there. This is a horrible spot, but at least we came to check it out, right? I guess that counts for something. I have to talk to Sean about this and be like, bro, why'd you tell me to go there? There's nothing. There's no fish there. Hell, there's barely any water there. I have a feeling Trout Lake is lower this year though. Bobber's up there, sort of. It's kind of sideways. Yeah, it's kind of kife. Whatever, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll set this thing up to be my new float rod. There's another vehicle. Let's see if I parked right. I'm guessing I did because they're going in there too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's shallow all the way out. I probably need like waders or shorts or something. Walk out a bunch and then cast. Because I get it out far. Oh, now it's staying upright. Something does eat. It's not going to be anything substantial. It's just going to be like a little midge, but whatever. All I know is the sun is making me peel at an accelerated rate. Sure beats sitting at home in front of the computer all day though. That's for sure. I can say at least this Saturday was eventful, but I can also say this is a horrible fishing spot. That would be juice if it was deeper. So I think I might just call it here. This is a bad spot. I don't know where else to go. It's also 7 o'clock at night and we came out at 4. We've been fishing for 3 hours. If there is a bass in those weeds and he sees that, he might come out and hit it. It's 7:30 now. People swimming to the left of me, so if there's any fish over there, they might come over this way. That's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet of them. Yeah, she's out pretty far right now and she's only up to her knees. I don't know what Sean was talking about. Unless I put like a 1-ounce jig on here and just sail the shot over there into the eddies. That ain't gonna happen. Where can I go to catch a panfish? Is there a dock around here? There's a dock over there, but it doesn't really get out very far. Got a black fly touring me right now. See, I know for a fact that this line would be useless against pike because I can break it with my teeth. So a pike will be able to snap this with his teeth by just looking at it wrong. Got a dragonfly attacking my bobber. That's funny. Stupid dragonflies. So this line floats? Oh, this line floats. Wasn't sure if it would float or sink because of the fluoro content. Well, something was eating it because I'm missing the tail end. That's going nowhere. If anything, those kids splashing and all that over there is going to lure the fish over here. So that's good. Oh, I'm on the other side of the weeds. I'm going to get tangled up. I guarantee it. As long as I don't lose my bobber. And I gotta go buy more bobbers. I think I only have one of these spring floats. Surprised there's not more boats out cruising around. Well, it is 7 o'clock at night. Did I lose my worm? Do we still have a worm? We still have a worm. I'm just going to waste this worm. And then we're going to bounce because I know what's going on. I'm opening the bail. And it's letting out line right away. It's letting out line prematurely. Oh, frig, I got a huge problem. Pull all this off till we find out where the hell that loop is. And then we'll fix that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like a loop right here. This is why I hate monofilament, even though this is copolymer. All right, let's try this again. No, that's going nowhere because it threw off a bunch of line before it actually casted. See, braid don't do that. The dragonfly hangs out, the black flies won't. I actually have a clip-on, I think I showed you guys, a clip-on dragonfly. And surprisingly enough, it actually worked. You put that thing on your hat and the black flies leave you alone. All right, let's see if I can cast this. Right into the ground because I didn't let go in time. I missed bait casting. But the worm is still attached. That worm does not want to let go, does he? That worm's seen better days, mind you, but he does not want to let go. You know, I can cast that Daiwa, no problem. This thing here, for some reason, it's a bit of a problem. I gotta go slower in my casts. I can't be whipping it out there. It's not a bait caster. but something ate the tail off that worm. Could have been a yellow-bellied perch, or as my buddy calls them, log perch. They roam these waters. They're up shallow. What the frig was that? Am I getting hit in the shallow? Something's moving my bobber around. Can't see it because I don't have my glasses on. Did I get stripped? No. Something was pulling at the worm. You know, if I didn't want to launch at Armstrong, I could just come over here and launch. Then I'd have this whole side of the lake to play on. And I think just around that bend over there is the cove. Because I know that's a private island. This might be the McPherson's Stretch. So I'm wrong. Camp Island is, I believe, that one straight over there. I don't know. Ouch. Under attack by a deer fly. Freaking deer flies. Those sons of bitches will take chunks out of you. Perfect landing. Maybe. If there was a fish in those reeds, he'd smell that rotting worm and just come and destroy it. Hey, dragonfly, come over here and kill this friggin' deer fly. Fill you up for a week. Yeah, this is not a good fishing spot. I'm taking this one off the map. All right, guys, we're gonna call it quits because there is only one fish eating today, and I missed it because I didn't feel it right, because I got a snag. But we can always try fishing at a later date and see how we do. Shad flies are only here until like the end of July, and then August things will be back to the regularly scheduled program. Except for the program got better because now he has boat. So on that note, guys, I'm gonna shut her down here. It's not gonna be a traditional shut down because I'm doing her thing by non-face view. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give that like button a clickety-clack. Any questions, comments, concerns, or if you live in this area and know of a better fishing spot that I haven't tried, Hutch, if you're out there, let me know. I was gonna go down to the river. You know it as Lavaz River. Hutch, that's what you know it as. I was gonna go down there and fish, but figured that boat launch would be pretty jacked and it'd be really hard to fish at the dock, so instead I went to Calendar, which was impossible to handle. So anyway, guys, if you live in this area, have any ideas, let me know. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.